Look at Stewart's hair. What the hell, Milestone? Yeet. Giggity. What's up? God dang. Now you listen here there, old sonny boy. The rut tester's back. Oh, what a joy. All right, so here we go. 20 laps on the one track of the series that you would probably think in your head that would rut up more than just about any other track. Good old Seattle. There's been a lot of races where there's been some crazy ruts on this track, so I'm hoping that that sort of carries over to the game and, you know, we can kind of see a little bit of the terrain deformation here. I don't know if it's really all that much existing in this game. I'm not really sure. This would be the first time I've ever really ran like a super long, realistic, they call it, race in the game where you really run more than like 5 or 10 laps on it, right? Kind of see how these ruts develop here. I don't know. I know previously Milestone, like certain tracks will have certain amounts of terrain deformation, then you'll get on some tracks and they'll have basically none. But Milestone's never really had terrain deformation to the point to where it's really making like ruts, right? It's always more so like a visual thing, right? So I don't know how much this is really going to do like physically changing ruts here, and then usually in the sand sections it looks just insane when that's really not the case of how it actually is, right? Let me just get completely whooped right here. I don't know how I got landed on and taken out there, but see if we can catch back up past all these dudes. Oh, past 7 dudes in one corner. Call me Malcolm, bro. God. Okay. So, let's get behind old Benny Bloss. Put your Bloss back on, you know what I'm saying, dog? So I think there's a quad potential right here on this track. Shit, I didn't even mean to do that. I think there's a quad potential right there in that section, but you gotta... It's kind of weird how you gotta land and, like, carry momentum, seat bounce. Kind of a bizarre thing you gotta do here to even get it to really do that on that particular section. So, see if I can get out front. So you kind of saw what the track was first couple laps. I just have this sort of feeling in my head like this is not really going to be much of a terrain deformation system in this game. Just kind of already getting that sort of vibe going a little here. I don't really know exactly. Shit, I just looked away. Excuses. All right. Try to catch back up. This sucks trying to do a freaking rut tester video in your mid-pack. You can't even see a freaking rut if it was there or not. So many riders around me and bumping into me. Let me get up here. Oh, yeah, that's that quad that I didn't even mean to hit. Yeah, there is definitely like a seat bounce vibe thing. You can almost get like a super jump feeling in the game when you really time a seat bounce perfectly. And I don't even really know like the science behind it or how it works in this game, but I do know there is certain times you will literally launch to a whole nother jump just by how you're leaning in a certain way. And it's kind of weird because it's kind of hard to do it like consistently. So I haven't really figured out exactly how to do it like super consistently yet, but we'll see if I can get there. Team tactics. Okay. God damn, Blaze Girl, I'm gonna fire your ass. Get the hell off me, bro. Okay, let's see. See, like that right there, there's no way in hell I could have quadded that. There's just certain times you hit it in just a certain way where it really gives you that, almost like you hit the NOS button on the jump face, you know what I'm saying? Just certain times it kind of gives you a super momentum swing on a jump face. I like this little section right here. Kind of cool on this track. Got to think about it a little bit. Nice little inside here. But you can triple into that section as well if you go outside. I just can't do it right now because I'm having to protect the inside from these clowns. So I'm having to take all the insides, or I would be trying to do that triple in. Okay, well, this will create a little bit of a race anyways. That'll be cool. But yeah, I mean, here we are, what, like 5 laps in, and I'm just still not really, it's just not much here, boys. I mean, I guess you can kind of see it coming out of that corner a little bit visually, but definitely nothing like physically changing the track-wise, you know? Nothing at all. I mean, nothing at all. Like, you can see it right there just a little bit. I just kind of feel like they've sort of maybe given up on the terrain deformation thing a little bit in this game. And there may be some other tracks that rut up a little bit more. You can let me know down in the comments if there is. But of all the tracks, you would think definitely Seattle would, if there was going to be a track that had some terrain deformation, let me stutter my ass off. If there was going to be a track that had some terrain deformation in the game, you would think Seattle would at least have some. Maybe not be the one that has the most, but you'd at least think it'd, you know, at least display the terrain deformation properly, give you a nice idea. Whereas if you went to like Arlington or something, you know, you'd just about expect, even if the game did have a terrain deformation system, it wouldn't do a whole lot on that track, right? So that would kind of be like a worse track to sort of display and test the terrain deformation in the game, but I'm just not really noticing too much here, guys. I mean, like, you can see it a little bit, but, I mean, I would almost think that there was more in Supercross 2 than what this feels like right here. So that's interesting. I don't know why their decision to kind of backtrack on that sort of vibe was in particular, but either way, let's try to get up here to the front. Bogle. Hey guys, my name's Bogle. Oh man, oh, I love you, Bogle. Just making some jokes out here, dog. Don't get too mad about it. You know what I'm saying? Oh man, I get made fun of all the time, dude. Like, you is that your sister? Oh, hey, Spence, is that your sister? Or is that your brother? That's your sister? Or is that your wife? No, that's your sister. Oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on now. I can take it. Literally turned my whole entire, like, motto into this turkey can fly, boy. And that all started with a, you know, a little hate vibe going on with my name, and then just turned it into my thing, so. Oh, damn, Webb out here trying to do some quad lines. Holy shit. Whoops are rutting up literally none. Like, not even visually. You can't even tell you even rode on them visually at all. And the jump faces really aren't either. The only place you're really even seeing it is, like, kind of in the corners a little bit, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But it's not really, it's definitely not making any ruts. It just kind of visually making that little, you know, milestone kind of visually looks like there's some ruts there, but there's really not. So it's doing that in the corners, but as far as the jump faces, it's doing nothing. Absolutely nothing to the jump faces. Which is weird because it seemed like it at least did a little bit to the jump faces in Supercross 2. So, I don't know. I'm just kind of confused on why they reverted back on that sort of terrain deformation system in the game. Just confused on why they would do that, you know, in the first place. They already had it to a point to where it basically wasn't doing anything anyways. I just don't know why you'd go backwards at that point on that, but seems to be, at least with this track, it seems to be the case. Oh, man. But I do love that action. If you're not leaning right and you come up short on something, you can definitely flip over in this game and pop off. But it's not, like, super janky like MXGP Pro, you know? This has got a really cool, like, wreck, pop off, come up short, over jump something, pop off balance to this game. Like, really good. Like, to the point to where it feels skill gapped but not annoying. You know what I mean? Feels skill gapped, but not janky. Like MXGP Pro, right? So, but you can still fall off. Unlike the first Supercross game where you can't fall off at all anywhere. No matter if you overjump something by 300 foot, you're still not going to fall off, right? So it's a cool little skill gappy fall off balance they got going on, but about halfway through the race here, this still ain't looking like it's doing anything. I probably won't even run all of this race right here just because of the fact that it's not doing anything. I mean, you can see it's just not doing anything, and it's not going to do anything. I mean, that's just pretty much apparent at this point, I would say. That's another thing I've noticed with this game as well, though, is the momentum you will lose coming up short on something. Even if you don't pop off, the momentum you lose makes it to where it's like, oh, shit, I really don't need to come up short on that, right? So they've got a cool, like, loss of momentum type vibe going on, which another thing that was completely non-existent to the first Supercross game. It had 0. Even if you came up short, you'd never lose momentum, so there's no, like, penalty or negative side effect to not hitting something right. Whereas this game, even if you don't pop off, you're still going to lose time because it's going to slow your momentum down. So just found that to be really cool about this game. But then a lot of these inside you can actually rail up and take, so that's kind of cool. You can shave off some time by, going up the inside of some corner lines and stuff, scrubbing off some of the pump scrubbing, some of the jump faces and stuff like that. Oh, about slid out right there, boys. Okay, let's see if we can hit this quad. No. There's just sometimes, I feel like their seat bouncing, like leaning forward and backward system could definitely use some more polish and use a little bit more TLC, but there's a lot of other aspects of this game that feel way better to me than a lot of the previous Milestone games, for sure, like I was mentioning there before. But yeah, let's see if we can triple this. Oh, she's pretty big, and you got to go super wide to do it, but at least you can still do it, so that's kind of cool. So yeah, as you can see, that's about the most this Rut Vibe's going to do. It's not doing anything on the jump faces, so I'll just go ahead and cut this video off here. There basically is no terrain deformation system to this new Supercross 3 game, which is all in how you want to look at it. I mean, they got some inside ruts, like on Vegas in the last corner. You got an inside pre-made rut. The tracks have a little bit more character to them, I feel like, than they have in the past. So even though there may not be a lot of terrain deformation, there is a lot of like certain areas where like the width, like the face of a jump will be taller on one side or the other side, or kind of, more character to the track. Everything's not so perfectly built at a base level. So I feel like in a sense, you don't need terrain deformation quite as much as you would like on the first Supercross game or whatever. Because those games, like every track was just made like super unrealistically perfectly. Everything was so smooth. Every jump was just perfect jump face. Whereas this, it's got more character to it, right? If you can understand what I'm saying there. But either way, I still think a little bit more of a terrain deformation system wouldn't be bad in this game or anything. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, I don't think it's like oh my God, the fact that there's not really terrain deformation is just like totally killing this game. I don't really think it's like that, partly because they've never really even had one to begin with. So, it's almost like this game, it's like, all right, we're going to cut the bullshit and just basically not even make it visual either, right? Whereas the other games, they were kind of tricking you. They made the terrain deformation very visual, so you could kind of see the ruts, but they still weren't really ruts. Super soft, you could blow right through them. They were just visual. They weren't really like hardcore making of ruts. They were kind of just tricking you in those other games, whereas this game, it's more like they're being a little more straight up with you and just... You can just tell there's basically not even a terrain deformation system on it at all, visually or physically. So that's kind of the difference there. But either way, appreciate you guys watching all the videos. Later, dudes.